That's the music of an exciting new group called Just Kiss. Probably the most unique group on stage that I've seen, well, since the first time I saw Alice Cooper, and now I'm not making any comparisons. Kiss is not anything like Alice, but I just use that in terms of being different, and boy, they are different. And we have 50% of Kiss in the studio. It's a half a Kiss. Peter and Paul. And I'm not going to ask you where's Mary, because there ain't no Mary. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me, why Kiss? Why not hug or smooch or squeeze?
Well, Paul came up with the name Kiss, so he could explain it better than I can.
Paul, you're on.
It's a simple name, and it's very direct, and our music tends to be very direct and right out front. And rather than go for a name like the Psychedelic Swamis or something like that.
That's not all bad. Got mine.
Kiss also is usually like the start of something.
Yeah.
It's usually the start of something good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
A deep kiss. Good
Yeah.
kiss.
Good kiss. Well, all right. I'm pleased. And the concept of Kiss, of course, is so different. And that's, you know, what I've been wanting to ask you all along. I mean, whose idea was the kind of presentation that you do?
We all had the idea, like, you know, when we worked together, like, I always wanted to be in a group with makeup and flash, and to give people more than just a show. Like Paul always used to say, if you want to listen to music, you go home and put on a record. But today, it's more than just listening. You gotta see the music and feel it and all. And I put an ad in the paper a long time ago, and I got this crazy call from the bass player, Gene. And he goes, hello. I said, hi. And he goes, are you skinny? And I said, yeah, I'm all right. I'm thin. He goes, do you have long hair? I said, yeah. Do you have a beard? I said, no. Would you like to wear makeup? Would you do anything? Would you wear a dress on stage? All this insanity. And I said, yeah, I'd do anything to make it. Anything. And he goes, well, come on down. And then I met Gene and Paul.
I want to hear what the ad was, but I want everybody to hear another cut from the album. Folks, this is Kiss. Another cut from a Dynamite album, as you can judge already on hearing two cuts. Kiss. Now tell me again, Peter, what was the ad that you put in the paper that you got that?
You know, you read them in the paper all the time. Drummer seeking, original group, willing to do anything to make it, rock and roll, blah, blah, blah,
right.
Peter Criss.
And so who answered it?
Gene or Paul, I don't know,
Gene.
They picked it up.
We would buy the papers. We were really desperate, because Gene and I knew what we wanted. So we'd go through the paper and call everybody up that was listed, and usually preface the call with, do you have a beard?
Was that his first drummer?
Yeah.
So in other words, you had the idea of doing the makeup and...
Well, we had the idea, but in order to make it work and in order to make it a group concept, you had to find people who
were into it,
who would do it naturally without being pushed.
I see. In other words, that really enjoyed the whole.
Yeah, it should be something that didn't have to be forced upon anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who conceived the specific makeup that you all wear?
Each one of us.
In other words, you all designed your own.
Yeah.
Did it require a lot of practice and?
Yeah, and it took time, right? I mean, we didn't start off with it. We just kept building on it like crazy.
Because that pussycat nose is just super on Peter. And well, of course, this is all hard to conceive when you hear it in conversation. But the guys in Kiss are made up. I'm not talking about glitter rock or transvestite stuff. I mean, just very theatrical and very interesting and exciting makeups that you might see in a Japanese. Play.
Yeah, similar to that.
Yes,
sure.
Very much so, and of course they all have great long hair, and it's just visual, just adds to the visual excitement of what the group does, and while your eyes are being treated, your ears are already going bananas from the sound. I want to take just a minute here, Peter and Paul, for some words about Army Reserve. Are you in the market for a better job? Well, then, check your local Army Reserve unit, because the Army Reserve needs men. And the Reserve is making good deals to get them. Let's talk jobs first. Not Army jobs, but civilian careers. When you join the Army Reserve, you can take any of 300 career training courses, depending on the needs of your local unit. And the choices cover the field, from finance to auto mechanics. And in return, you serve with the Reserve, which is a pretty good deal all by itself. You start with a minimum of 4 months of active duty training, and you're paid for this, of course. And you're paid for the 4 4-hour reserve meetings each month and the 2 weeks you serve each summer. The Army Reserve offers better jobs and better futures. The Army Reserve. It pays to go to meetings.
It pays, it pays, it pays to go to meetings, it pays.
This is the Nightbird, Alison Steele, for the United States Army Reserve, and our guest today is Kiss. That's the music of Kiss from a brand new album, and we have 50% of Kiss in the studio. We have Gene and Ace. And Gene, this is a whole new venture. I mean, not only is the group new, but it's a brand new label too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Casablanca is the name of the label. And Neil Bogart is the man responsible for it.
Does he have any kind of tag, for instance, for Kiss's music? I mean, what do you call Kiss as far as music? If you really had to...
People have used terms like thunder rock.
Thunder rock?
Yeah.
Hey, I like that. I haven't heard that one before.
And I really don't think it's a good idea to coin, the kind of music that we're doing. It's hard. It's hard-edged. I think it's also easily accessible music. They all have hooks. It's the kind of stuff that pretty much you can sing along with and dance. They're all in the single range, whatever. They're like 3-minute songs.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, then I would guess thunder rock.
Yeah, they're not the Moody Blues folks.
No.
No. Ace, you were originally with the original group too, weren't you?
I was the last member to join.
The last member. And did they get you through an ad in the paper too?
Well, I saw their ad. They had an ad for a lead guitarist, and
One with long hair, skinny, that wore makeup.
yeah, the bass. And what happened was they tried out about 50 guitarists, and they decided on me.
I wonder why.
I was very happy about the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Well, isn't the instrumentation of the group a little ordinary? Think about that for a minute. Of course, you don't have to. I do, but I want to take a 30-second pause here for some words about Army Reserve, and then I want the answer to that question. That's Kiss, and that's the name of the album. It's the name of the group. I mean, it's uncomplicated again. Now, getting back, Paul, to Gene, to the instrumentation. Isn't it unusual you have nothing but guitars?
It's really classic instrumentation. We go back to, keeping with what we have in mind of keeping the music easily accessible. The easiest thing would have been to go out and spend $3,000 on a Moog synthesizer and then turn up the volume and, but we try to keep everything so that it's easily workable, so that people don't have to work at sitting in their seats and try to figure out what we're doing. Our instrumentation is in a classic Beatle mold, although I don't really think we have that much to do with the Beatles as such. 2 guitars, bass and drums. A lead guitarist, a rhythm guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer. And all 4 of us sing, all 4 of us write.
After seeing the group, I've seen the group now 3 times, and on the 3rd time around, I really realized, which I hadn't the first 2 times, what good voices you all have. I mean, really good, fine voices. Have you had voice training?
I don't think so, no.
None of them?
It would be, no.
You
None
couldn't?
of us have, we've had art training.
Yeah.
A couple of the people in the band are designers or whatever. The logo was designed by Ace.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You'll notice the S's are a bit different.
Yes, and that's what makes it so unique and looks so good in rhinestones, too. I should have worn mine today. Now, as I mentioned before, the group's unique, and I'm trying not to tip, what happens on stage, because I like everybody to go and see the group, and they will be on tour, and see what they do. But we might give away a little of it, because I have to know, with all the odd, weird things that go on in the course of the presentation, I imagine there have been some foul-ups.
Sometimes it happens.
What's the funniest thing that's happened to you so far with all your gimmicks?
The weirdest thing, I guess, that ever happened to us was very prophetically on our first coming out, as it were, New Year's Eve, 1973-74. We did our first professional gig with Blue Oyster Cult and some other nice people. And I don't know if people are aware of it, but I do a fire breathing thing during one of the songs. And the whole side of my head caught fire.
I heard about that. I didn't see it.
That was, I wasn't even aware of it at the time, if it wasn't for Sean Delaney.
How'd you put it out?
I didn't even know about it.
One
No,
of those
Sean just ran off stage and smothered me with his coat. And I guess it just went out. I didn't even know about it. At the end of the thing, Rick Derringer and some of his people came over and said, "Why does the bass player, put his hair on fire? He doesn't have to go
It's a
that
great
far."
act.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they thought it was part of the act.
That would be kind of expensive. You'd be bald in about 6 weeks
Yeah.
if you could last that long. We're going to take a minute here for some words from Mommy Reserve.